Hi, this is Jeff with Game-Refraction. I'm here at PAX West 2016 with Joe Madureira. Thank you so much for the interview. So, Battlechasers Nightwar started with Kickstarter. How did you guys come to the conclusion that we need to make Battlechasers now?
It's funny. At first, we actually knew that we wanted to do an RPG, and it was going to be a fantasy turn-based RPG. And I started doing some drawings of all these character classes, and like steampunk elements started to work its way back in. And for some reason, I had this, because it's been so many years, that I just feel like, well, Battlechasers is like old now. I'm sure people would rather have something new. So I fought the urge, even though everyone we talked to was like, you're doing a Battlechasers game, right? Clearly, if you're doing an RPG, it has to be Battlechasers. And I was like, no, people don't want that anymore. But sure enough, throughout the years, people have been asking for Battlechasers again. And I was like, if rather than create a new fantasy world, if we did go back to Battlechasers and, flesh it out and maybe launch a couple more issues of the comic, I think that would actually be cooler than trying to do a new one that possibly isn't as cool. And so we were like, let's try it. I was nervous all the way up until the Kickstarter. I was just expecting people to be like,
what is this?
You never finished the series, I hate you. But Battlechasers fans are the coolest on the planet, and honestly, over the years, I would be promoting Darksiders or whatever it is, and people would always be like, when are you going to finish Battlechasers? So it's been really cool. I can honestly say if it wasn't for fan support, I would have never had the courage to go back there, and I'm glad we did. It's been so fun working on these characters again, and I have so many new ideas and all these new inspiration now that I didn't have back then as a creator. So
excellent.
I think it's going to be some of the best Battlechasers stuff, both in the game and the books. But yeah, that's
you're continuing the books now.
I'm continuing the books. I'm going to do 3 more issues next year, and then from there we'll kind of see timing and schedule. Yeah. Possibly talking to another creative team that can sort of work with me on it, and so we'll see how far it goes. But I definitely want to put it back out there next year.
So, where does this take place within the comics timeline? Because I think the comics ended with the king coming together with the as if though it were planned, and then
right. So the comic story is going to continue in the comic series. This game is sort of a self-contained adventure that's separate from the books. It takes place some nondescript time after the comic series. They're already together, they all know each other, but we're sort of reintroducing all the characters and their relationships and stuff, so you don't have to be familiar with the book at all to enjoy the game. I think that was really important. When you are, I don't want people to be like, I didn't read the comics, so I'm not going to pick this up. You'll be able to enjoy it as if it were any RPG that just,
Excellent.
Yeah.
So with the character design staying kind of the same, Gully almost looks a little older in this than
she's a little older. Yeah, she's definitely a little older. She's more combat trained. She's been working with Garrison and stuff, and learning how to use her powers. So there has been at least a couple years that have passed. I didn't want her to be the fragile little girl that she was in the book, but she has grown a little bit. I mean, all the characters have slightly.
So with Nightwar being kind of that kind of top-down, Diablo running around, Final Fantasy kind of combination, how did you guys come to the conclusion of how mechanically the game was going to look?
It started out, a lot of it just grows over time. I mean, we actually considered doing a very old school 2D background before we went 3D. We actually have early prototypes where it is a 2D background because we knew we wanted to keep the team really small. So that meant we were probably going to be indie, which meant we couldn't do, crazy, when you have multiple character classes and it's an action game, just the development time and the team size and everything grows exponentially from there. So we knew we were going to do turn-based combat, and then some of the, we lucked out, just our team, our environment, our team's so amazing, and I think when they came on board, Jesse Carpenter, I think, was like, why don't we just do it in 3D? It's not going to be that much more work.
Yeah, kind of.
Yes, it is. And when we started building it, though, it was like coming together quickly, and it looked about 1,000 times better than the initial concept for the game.
Nice.
So it was like, hey, I guess we're gonna have 3D like action exploration with this turn-based combat hybrid, and it was like really fun. So we kind of just went with it,
Yeah, it kind of almost reminds me of like the art style, like color-wise, like what Diablo 3 kind of did with. It kind of reminded me almost like of Diablo 3's kind of like top-down, vibrant kind of look to it, which was really good. Now, with the characters, basically kind of having like the 3D models and then the 2D stuff, how did all the animation kind of come into play? Because there's like almost like full motion video.
Yeah. So for the battle, are you talking about the battle bursts, or are you talking about the
I was watching like some of the sections where it almost like in some of the trailers where it actually had like almost, it looks like Battlechasers, like the cartoon.
Right. Yeah. So that was early on. We partnered up with Powerhouse Animation Studios, and we thought it'd be really cool for some of the key story moments to have just full-on 2D animation, and that's going to be limited to schedule and budget, but we'd like to do as many of those as we can. But it's really it's like another layer and another cool way to see the characters. Animation is another passion of mine, and I know a lot of the fans of the book too love it, so we've gotten a lot of really good feedback on it.
So the turn-based mechanics, like how does a lot of that actually work, and what are some of the actual key features that benefit from it?
So the system revolves around a initiative bar. Like you get to see like your turn order, and so manipulating that is a lot of the strategy. Whatever moves you use push you ahead or behind enemies. The enemies also moves affect their order, and so in addition to that, we have standard attacks that are immediate, and you get to execute them right away, and they build up this temporary mana basically, and so that encourages you to use some of your more exciting abilities without having to waste mana to do them, because a lot of times in RPGs you'll fight really like you'll be stingy with your mana and like be saving it, so you'll just keep doing basic attacks. So in order to encourage people to do the most awesome looking moves they have, we kind of give you free mana throughout the battle that you can build up. So that like, and you have 3 characters in your party at any one time. There are 6 to choose from, and so even your party makeup affects how you get through the dungeon. They each have dungeon abilities outside of combat. Monica can pick locks. If she's not in your party, you'll probably have to look around for the key and get into way more combats. Garrison can dodge traps, things like that. So once you know which dungeon you're going into, you pick your party of characters and give it a try. If you fail, you can switch out characters, switch out their abilities. There's a lot of customization.
Nice. Does Nolan have like a big giant book attack?
He has a book. He doesn't have a book attack per se, but I think kind of actually, yeah.
Because I always remember like Nolan's got a big book from the comic, so kind of like really looking forward to a lot of the characters. Are you guys going to be introducing any more characters later on?
We have obviously if the game does well, we would love to keep adding to it, introducing new characters. We have the 5 main heroes: Red Monica, Garrison, Gully, Calbretto, and Nolan. And then we introduce a new hero called Alaman, who's like a devil hunter, and he's kind of like, is he friend, is he foe kind of thing, but he's pretty fun too. He's not in the books, he's brand new.
And Battlechasers Nightwar is going to be releasing on PS4, Xbox One, and PC.
Yep.
And the release date is?
Well, we're going to announce a solid release date over the next few months, but we're targeting the end of this year, actually.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much.
All right, man. Thank you.
Thank you.